go back now to one of our earlier stories. The Public Protector's Office confirming today that Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane is investigating the 2020 robbery at a farm owned by President Cyril Ramaphosa in Limpopo. That's the Phala farm, where from last week, following a criminal complaint brought forward by former intelligence boss Arthur Fraser, we've heard allegations of an alleged cover-up of the alleged crimes committed there. We're also hearing calls from other political parties, the opposition that is, for President Ramaphosa to step down while investigations continue, and also calls for the revenue service in the country to investigate whether there was any violation of the country's tax laws. Let's talk about the latest developments now. We're joined by political analyst, Professor Lesiba Teffo. Prof, it was good to have you on Newzroom Afrika. So the Public Protector now also investigating. Are the walls closing in on the president?
Yes, I think a lot is happening around and about him, and vultures are circling, and the carcass that they are eyeing, and unfortunately I wouldn't have loved to live to see this day, but the reality is things are happening around and about the president, and you could have been smarter than how he has handled this matter.
You say the
president
could have been smarter in what way?
Yes, he could have been smarter in that he knows that doing exactly what he did was wrong. He knew the confidence bestowed in him by the people of South Africa when he assumed office. When he said to all and sundry, to Mamina, there was much hope and expectation. I grant him that he did well to some extent indeed. He stemmed the tide of corruption. Things could have been worse. I grant him that. But this own goal and a few that preceded this one are the ones that I say he could have been smarter to know that one way or another it might catch up with me, and the emperor might be found to be naked with nowhere to hide.
Prof, could all of this have been avoided had the president and his team simply shared this information or made it public when the robbery happened in 2020?
Certainly, it would have taken the sting out of it. You and I wouldn't have been debating it as it is. However, it is the quantum and the forex that would have been problematic. Even if he had come forward, maybe indeed it's right to say the quantum is not what is alleged to be. That's fine, right? But remember, when it comes to foreign currency, there is a limit to which you can keep in your house or on your person. And when it comes to South African currency, there is a limit that you can keep in your house or on your person. And the last person to try that, for whatever reason, would be citizen number one. So those are common things that one doesn't have to belabor. He ought not to have done that. But had he come out and even told what happened, or maybe this was the money collected, indeed for the sale that took place over the weekend or so, and I was en route to the bank, some of us would have believed him. Mm-hmm. And not much ado would have been going on as it is the case right now.
And you wonder, don't you, Professor Teffo, why a politician with the years that President Cyril Ramaphosa has on the clock, who knows the dynamics, the factional dynamics of the ANC, could not have foreseen that not coming forward with this robbery, whether there was any crime committed by himself or his staff at the time, could not have foreseen that keeping it quiet would ultimately become problematic down the line?
It is true, you're right. One way or another, it would come out into the open. But human failure, women frailty, women weakness always says, maybe not with me, perhaps with others. But given the office he holds, he should have also considered that should it happen, what would be the implication thereof to me, the country, and to the world. And indeed, I think the world is awash with information and indeed legitimizing the stereotypes that all African heads of states are almost the same. It is all about state resources. It is all about the same. And I'm tempted to say this, that if you look at how Mobutu left office, how much money he took with him, and there was a man from Liberia called Charles Taylor. In that jeep, when he was ultimately arrested, running away from Nigeria after he left his own country, in that jeep, bags full of foreign currency, American dollars, were found in his person. So there is always this bit of culture that says African heads of states tend to hoard money for the bad days, and money sometimes illegitimately gotten. And indeed, in this case, maybe he was also preparing for the rainy days, that just in case I leave unceremoniously, I should have something to live off. But South Africa isn't there yet.
Well,
I can understand in other spaces, but we aren't there yet.
He says, President Cyril Ramaphosa, even when he spoke over the weekend when he was attending one of the ANC conferences, he says that his hands are clean. He's never even stolen from the public purse. His integrity would not allow him to be part of any such thing. Now that the public protector is investigating this ethics complaint, possibly by the ATM, which has been brought forward by its leader, Vuyo Zungula, the public protector, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, and the president have been engaged in quite a long back and forth now about her position and various other investigations linked to the president. To what extent do you think whatever she finds on this issue will have a... How do you think those, in fact, those previous issues are going to color how the outcome of the investigation is viewed? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yes, indeed. Either way, it is going to be colored. Either way, the public protector isn't going to come out smelling of roses, because if he finds against him, right, there's still those that say, yes, of course we expect it. And if he doesn't, again, what is he playing to the gallery in order to save her skin, right? Now that things are where they are right now. But still, let her be allowed enough space to do her job. It is her job. Other things notwithstanding. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt that she will be as objective as she possibly could be.
Right. So tomorrow the president will be in Parliament to deliver the budget vote for his office. The EFF has already said it wants him to step down while all of this plays out, and in fact that the deputy president should be given that responsibility. When Ramaphosa appears before Parliament tomorrow and is given, shall we say, the Zuma treatment, we know how the EFF handled that Nkandla issue in the chambers. What do you think that's going to do for him, not only as his standing as head of state, but as leader of the ANC in a conference year?
Look, it obviously would impact on his standing in the court of public opinion, and it will also impact him as a person, his family, friends, and allies. Right? There is no doubt about that. It's not a good spectacle to be howled and heckled in the manner it happened to President Jacob Zuma, his failings notwithstanding. A modicum of respect to a head of state is always necessary, even if we differ with them. But at the same time, they too must be worthy of our respect, because we cannot, at all costs, respect them. As you know, respect is earned. But the theatrics of the EFF, remember, are also in that wrong direction, that people tend no longer to put as much weight. They would rather discern what is right, chaff it away, and look at what the real issues are. Let him go in there and take the people of South Africa in his confidence, explain himself, and with that main rider, let the law take its courses. State institutions are there looking at the matter, including the public protector. Can we allow them to pronounce on this?
A quick final one, Prof. So, like I was referencing now, the EFF has said the president needs to step aside. The UDM, Bantu Olomisa, on this very program, said that what the UDM, in fact, is suggesting is that the president take a sabbatical while investigations are ongoing. The ANC, as we know, in Parliament through the years, even in the years of former President Jacob Zuma, stands by its president, even when the opposition is coming on rather fiercely in opposition. Do you expect to see as fierce a defense of Ramaphosa on this score as perhaps what was done for former President Jacob Zuma when Nkandla was the headache?
Human beings across the political line tend to follow power wherever it goes. After 8 failed attempts to unseat President Zuma. It was when he was more vulnerable that people, because of selfish ends, now decided to ditch him. For now, Ramaphosa is in a fairly strong position. His position can be a little tenuous, but I think he will prevail, and even in December, all things being equal, he would still prevail. Until that time, when they suddenly realize he's costing him a lot, and ditching him won't have personal consequences on some of his allies or the ANC itself, then they can ditch him. But for now, I think he will limp on up to the conference and sail through.
Professor Lesiba Teffo, good to have your time tonight. Thank you, sir.